If you like this podcast, then consider checking out the other great podcasts at metalsharkstudio.blogspot.com.
Who's rapping? Overkeen. Dragons? I'm not overkeen. I'll dice them like a knife, slicing right through an aubergine. My dragon shout flow is sweeter than a soda stream. You won't believe your eyes. I'm like an overload of dopamine. A broadsword in one hand and a magic spell in the other.
Welcome to the 9th edition of a Skyrim Addict podcast roundtable.
Yay!
This is the second episode of Season 2, Skirmish for Solstheim. We are the show who compares and contrasts Skyrim experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
Today we are joined by Colin, as usual, and Victor. Hello, Colin and Victor.
Howdy.
Hello,
And
Victor.
we have a repeat guest for his second appearance, and Juan. How you doing, Juan?
Doing good. Did get myself a brew now.
Attaboy, that's what I'm talking about. And joining us for his first appearance, all the way from Deutschland, is David Hambach. David, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Great to be here.
We're glad to have you. And again, I will extend the invitation. We're always welcoming new participants, so if you have any interest in joining up with the roundtable experiment that we're running here, please just drop us a line at skyrimroundtable@gmail.com, and we will get you signed up with some random attributes so you can play along with us. And we did get a couple of emails, gentlemen, so I will go ahead and burn through those real quick. The first one is from David Hambach. And he says, "Greetings, so glad to have found your show now that the old addiction has sunk its teeth into me again. And once again, I'm being drawn to shooting arrows from the shadows, and that gets stale after a while. Your character assignments sound like a fun challenge, and I'd be grateful to get one. Keep up the great work, and don't let the frost trolls get you." So, David, thank you for signing up and joining us for the roundtable. We're very glad to have you aboard. And
It's been an interesting experience.
yes,
How you liking the illusion, David?
glad to have you.
It's great, but I guess we'll get to that.
And just a second email here, real quick. We've got John from North Yorkshire, UK. How do you pronounce that, actually, Colin? We would say Yorkshire, but I know that's not how it's pronounced. Yorkshire?
Yeah, Yorkshire. It's pronounced S-U-R-E at the end, yeah.
Yorkshire. How about that?
That's the one. All the hairs on your chest. Pull them out when you're saying it. And
Yorkshire.
That's it.
There we go. With horrible English accents.
So you gotta sound a little inebriated.
Yeah, you need to have a few points.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm dipping into Australian all of a sudden. It says, "Dear Andrew et al., I felt inspired to catch up with the roundtable after hearing the final installment. Have caught up and ready for Season 2. Got to level 50 by playing Expert and then bumped up to Legendary for the final few quests. Due to time restraints, I allocated my own stat spread by picking name cards out of a bag and came up with a Redguard Male, Two-Handed, Alchemy, Enchanting, and 2 Health, 2 Magic, and 1 Stamina. I've maxed out Enchantment, as you would expect, and got to around level 80 in the others. Tried to play through all the game using a Steel Greatsword, an Elven Bow, Gray Vampire Armor, and a Whiterun Guard Helmet, simply because it's the coolest gear. I do kind of like that Whiterun Guard Helmet. Didn't have time for the faction, the wife, or follower. Yeah, I don't have time for my wife either, buddy. Could you keep me in the loop for Dragonborn, please? Cheers, John from North Yorkshire, UK. God, I can't pronounce things. North Yorkshire, UK. So thanks for the email, John. And he went ahead and pulled his own stats. That's pretty cool. What do you guys think of his stats there? He got a Redguard Male. Seems like a few of us have Redguards here. Alchemy, Enchantment, and Two-Handed.
That's the same as Slive.
Yeah, sounds the same as Victor's character there. Sort of similar to mine as well.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen somebody get the trifecta of alchemy, enchanting, and smithing. Because they just would have
Done.
owned everything,
Done.
getting 100% and putting everything like that. They would have like the maximum gear. They're like, the
that'd be
best
cool.
armor, the best potions, the best enchanted stuff.
Yeah, I have to admit that those are the three that I always concentrate on if I'm just starting a new kind of random character. Those are the ones I roll with usually.
Totally.
And we just want to go over David. We rolled him some stats. David, do you have your stats in front of you? I actually got them pulled up here. If you'd like me to read them off, or do you have
Well,
them?
I'm in game, but I know them. So This is the first time I've ever played a Khajiit. So that's some new dialogue for me. Kihana. My stats were pickpocket, which is always fun. Illusion magic, which I have never used before, and one-handed.
Oh, wow.
And that's been a bad kitty.
Bad kitty.
Yeah,
Kitty with quick claws.
No, I broke this thing already. So yeah, Kihana has completed the main quest line. Has completed her main faction. She's now the Archmage. She has also completed the companions to get that follower, whatever he's good for. And she's now at a level 145.
Wow.
So I kind of broke her.
Yeah. What was your follower's name?
That's Torvar. He's one of the companion recruits, and you can't recruit him as a follower unless you become the Harbinger.
Wow.
So you got to play through all of that.
That's the drunk guy, isn't it? He's funny.
Is he drunk? He's that dude with the blonde beard. In the beginning, he's quite sympathetic, and then he's like, "Oh, who's put you in charge?"
Is he drunk? I thought he had a funny accent.
And do you know who your spouse is? Have you gotten a spouse yet?
Yeah, you got me that old geezer from Solitude. That's great. That's awesome. That's sweet. I like to warm his bed at night.
You must have an eventful sex
the thing-
life being with the elderly.
So this is how I rationalize the thing. His daughter is the wine cellar in Solitude, and she's going through some hard times. They got that festival cancelled of the burning effigy, so she's not selling any wine. Her dad's a drunkard, and I kind of got him off her hands. Now he's chilling in my home in Markarth, hanging out with my house car, doing I don't know what dudes do when they're alone. I don't want to know. I guess.
Does he ever make inappropriate kitty jokes?
Nah, he doesn't. He's creepy enough as is, but he's making some decent money with the little shop he runs to keep himself busy, I guess.
And you said you're off in Markarth.
I took all the wine out of my house, so he looks healthy.
No more pickled liver. So you in Markarth? Does that mean you're in the Valendril Hall?
Yes, that's
Yes.
where I am right now.
How are you liking
having
that
dinner with my
location?
family.
Do you enjoy that house?
It is in fact my second favorite home in the game. Favorite one being Bree's home, because it's amazing how tiny that is and how many well-placed containers it has. The only thing it's lacking is an alchemy table. Vindal Hall is just great, massive, giant, with lots of bookcases and display cases and whatnot. It's a little easy to get stuff lost in here.
Yeah, it's a great house. I like Blendrel Hall.
Mhm.
I've never owned Valendril Hall, and I've never. What's the one in up in Winterhold?
Nah, I've never had that house
What's that one?
either. I think
There isn't
I
one
think
in
they-
Winter Hall.
I don't like the interiors of the houses in Windhelm because they're so drab. There's like nothing in there that sets them apart. It's like, just like from the outside they look great. From the inside they're just a shack. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright.
You said you were the Archmage. Did you use that at all?
Mhm.
I kind of
In-
like using that as a home
in-
base sometimes.
in
It
what-
kind of sucks going through a door and then going through another door with the load screens.
Oh, you mean like the Archmage quarters?
I like his quarters.
Nah,
so-
I just pop in every once in a while to collect the ingredients which will respawn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
sometime. But other than that, no. I like to focus on one home. That's why I won't use the one in Solstheim either. I think they kind of overdid it a little bit. I mean, a smelter in your basement. Seriously, come on. I mean,
Just ask
it's
him for
convenient,
one.
of course, but I don't want to sleep next to that fire
Yeah,
hazard. Come on.
You're gonna poison your children. And let's see.
Also, I got 2 dead people lying in there. That's gross. Flies, the smells. Nah, it's all right. I'm all set up.
I see your other follower is Susith. Have you done any of the Dawn Guard stuff yet?
No, I haven't touched the Dawn God stuff at all.
And let's see, College of Winterhold, we went over that. And
Mhm.
what is your preferred travel? I see you got assigned fast travel, which is the easiest. Is that usually how you play?
Well, yeah, sometimes. On the other hand, I got 820 stamina, so I might as well run.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, when you're up over level 100 and you have a 3 for your stamina assignment, you probably
Yeah.
I've
The
got
main
a lot-
problem was really getting my magicka up.
You're a Prefontaine over there. Well, David, welcome aboard. We're very honored that you would join us, and we're glad to have you.
Why, thank you.
If you don't mind, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but could you just tell us where you're calling in from and maybe what you do in your free time or what you do for a living?
Well, I do live in Rottgau, which is a town about 20 kilometers away from Frankfurt, mine. And I work at the airport. Aviation security, you may know us as the TSA.
And I remember we were going to record a couple weeks ago, and I think you mentioned that you might not be able to get home in time because there's a public transportation.
Yeah, public transportation was on strike. And as for my free time, well, I guess I play a lot of video games.
Do you have a favorite game besides Skyrim?
Right now, that would be Robocraft. But
Never heard of
there are a
Robocraft.
lot of games. It's an early access thing on Steam. Just imagine like Minecraft and World of Tanks got drunk one night and then conceived Robocraft. You build a thing and then you drive it into battle and blow stuff up.
Awesome. Sounds pretty interesting. Has anyone else played Robocraft? Victor?
No, I saw it on Steam, but didn't bite.
Welcome aboard, David.
Thanks.
And Wally.
Yeah, as for the kid, oh sorry.
No, go ahead.
And as for the kitty herself, I mean, I got a lot of skills up to 100 and got the perk trees maxed out, but I'm still playing her as intended, and it's really a different experience because I used to kill people like the minute they came on site with my bow from the shadows, right? What I didn't realize is how much dialogue I was missing. Now that I got to go up close and personable, like invisible and stabbing them in the back, I get to hear what they wanted to say first. Well, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah, it really fleshes out the game a little bit.
Well, yes, it does.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we talk to the about the quest. Right, go ahead.
Great. And Juan, we'll go ahead and check in with you since everyone, I'm sure, is bored of me and Victor and Colin. Juan, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I didn't update any of my stats. I kind of flaked on that. But yeah, I've been doing good. Been playing quite a few games now. Just because I hear everybody talking about the different games they play. So I started, like I said, I've been playing Oblivion, been playing a little bit of Morrowind, and I started, what was that game?
Dark Souls or Darksiders that you were talking about the other day. Did you actually start that?
Yeah, I did start it. It's kind of weird. You play as Death.
Yeah.
And you just gotta. Well, right now I'm basically just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Got a little brewing done last weekend, which was nice. Gotta build up some yeast so I can build a Christmas beer for the family.
Ooh, Christmas beer. What's going on with the Christmas beer?
I am not sure.
What's it like?
I'm thinking I might make a Russian Imperial Stout.
Oh my.
See how big a beer I can make on that. So maybe somewhere around 10-11%. But we'll see what I decide.
Do you always think that the stronger the beer, the better? Or do you like the flavor the better?
It's more dependent on the specialty grains that you put in there to give it the flavors that you want. Because the big thing about making any beer is you want a balance. Because you don't want it to be too bitter, you don't want it to be too sweet. if you're making a big beer, you don't want it to just be just sweet, and you don't want just hops in your face. So so it's more about balance. So if you have a really well balanced beer, I've seen people make beers at about 2.5 to 3%. But if it's got a really nice balance, then it's really not an issue. Same thing if you make a beer that's 12, 13, 14%, but if you got a really nice balance of flavors, then it can be really enjoyable.
Well, where are you calling in from, Juan?
I'm calling from San Diego County, Escondido, which is Southern California.
Well, we're honored to have you aboard again. Thank you for making time to join in and podcast with us this evening.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This is always fun, or at least it was the last time I was here.
Well, we'll try not to disappoint again.
Yeah, totally.
Victor, would you like to give us your rundown, sir?
Well, I'm Victor from Massachusetts, but currently in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What are you doing in Pittsburgh?
Oh, I'm working like I always am. I was just in Birmingham, Alabama for 5 weeks, so now I'm in Pittsburgh.
What was your favorite dish that you had in Alabama? What kind of food were you digging on down there?
Oh, barbecue. It's awesome down there. They make great barbecue.
Yeah, it's good.
So, yeah. But I live in little apartments, so I usually just cook my own meals. Yeah.
Does your company provide for the little apartments that you get to go to?
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of extended stay places these days. So not like when I started in the business back in the 70s, but now it's easy.
Hotels.
Yeah, exactly. Little flea bags, But now it's easy to find a nice place. So.
Awesome. Well, we're always glad to have you aboard, Victor. Thanks again for making time.
My pleasure. I love it.
And Colin, sir, could you give us a little introduction again?
Hi guys, my name's Colin. Calling in from England.
I actually had a question for you, Colin.
Uh-oh.
The NFL is doing their International League stuff again this week. So there's 2 NFL teams in London. And I was listening to an interview with an American football analyst, which I didn't realize that there would be American football analysts. But he was talking about cheese wheel contests. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Cheese rolling contest or something?
It's somewhere out in Somerset, I think. Like Cornwall, sort of like sheep shaggers. They roll a big wheel of cheese down a hill, and then they all chase after it, and whoever catches it wins something. But I've seen this one of the, those one of the funny things that they have at the end of a news segment.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It was really funny. They had cheese rolling races or something.
Yeah, big wheel of cheese, roll it down a hill.
And also,
it turns out it's pretty dangerous. They're huge wheels of cheese too, so I guess a couple people have been injured very badly.
Yeah, I mean they get pretty, they're probably the size of a little bit bigger than like the wheel on a normal car, I think.
Yeah, they're big.
I think.
Wow, that's a huge hunk of cheese. Hunk of cheese. Well, welcome, Colin. Welcome, Victor, and Juan, and David. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
Well, let's go ahead and just do a brief breakdown of everyone's stats real quick. Colin, can you tell us your character's name and what attributes you were assigned?
Hi. My name's Colin. My character's name is Gunvar Oakenmaster. He's a Nord. His stats was... 3 magicka, 2 health, 1 stamina, and his attributes was one-handed, illusion magic, and speech.
Are you at 100 in all your categories there?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Attaboy.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. David, I think we kind of mentioned yours, but you'd like to quickly list yours again?
That was one-handed, illusion, and pickpocket. Hey, that sounds like a good team. I fish it, you move it.
Hey, Juan, what were you assigned?
I was assigned for, let's see, an Argonian male, block, illusion, and speech. 3 points to Magicka, 2 points to health, and 0 to stamina. Spouse was Dravinia, and I had the Held Jarkin Hall in Windhelm, which is, I believe that's the one that you said you don't like. We always seem to confuse Windhelm and Winterhold. And then I had Iona as a follower. Still haven't gotten the Steadfast Dwarven Spider. I am the listener in Dark Brotherhood, and my travel is horse, which is perfect for Dark Brotherhood because I get Shadowmere.
Nice. Have you looked into that Dwarven Spider thing? Do you know how to do it? Where you get it and all that?
Yeah, I know how to do it. I have to go to that one temple, and there's different levels, and depending how deep you go into it, you can actually get whichever. There's like 3 different followers you get there. I just haven't really taken the time. I kind of out of sight, out of mind right now.
Yeah. Is that one that you get the staff for, or the wand?
No, I think it's
the
the
Dwarven
little...
control stick or whatever. Or is that something different?
No, I think this is the one with the little jewels that you put into the puzzle, and you have to get a certain amount of jewels, and you drop them in, and that's how you get your open up different doors.
Wonderful. I believe Victor.
Yeah, well, Slythe Aaron is my character. He was assigned 3 stamina, 0 health, and 1 magicka, and alchemy, enchanting, and two-handed. And he's reached 100 or over 100 because I used the uncapper on the two-handed and alchemy, but he's still only 75 in enchanting. That's where he is at. He was assigned Dawnguard, but he's made it through most of that. He still has to go kill Harkon.
And you've been to the Soul Cairn and everything? I believe we discussed that last time, right?
Yeah, he's done the Soul Cairn, and he's been through the whatchamadinger, the Lost Valley place. And he has Ariel's bow and all that. But then he went to Solstheim. He was assigned Koznak as his spouse, and Berlina as his secondary follower or whatever. But Berlina is a very cute dark elf, and Slythe being a dark elf, they struck up a relationship. So they're all living happily in Heliarchen Hall. And but currently, Slythe is on Solstheim with Serana and Koznak.
Berlina get a little jealous about that?
Oh no, she's home with the kids. She's happily taking care of the kids, along with
and
Gregor.
It's weird that 2 dark elves have. Oh yeah, Gregor. Love Gregor.
Yeah. Well,
the 2 dark elves are
Sophia.
these Nord kids, though. Wouldn't you think be some dark elf children in this game?
Well,
is that nice. A mod that you can have like Khajiit kids or Argonian children? It seems like there's only Nord kids in Skyrim.
No, there are mods for Khajiit, and I don't remember. There's a whole mess of them, but they're often buggy and unreliable mods.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, Lucia.
Well, I don't trust my.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, no. Lucia, there are other. There's Imperials. Like Lucia, she's an Imperial. She's not a Nord. Bryce, she's Redguard. Blaze, she's
Redguard kids.
But speaking of Serana, how awesome is that she sometimes just says, "I hope these aren't just the things you can't be bothered with right now. Whenever you want to trade her."
That's right.
So true. They know their players.
I always wanted to smack Lydia in the face. She always seemed so put out when you asked her to carry anything. I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
Yeah. Disdain in her voice.
Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way from Lydia. Colin loves Lydia.
Damn right.
It's a good thing, though, that this game isn't online, because it would just be a constant queue to beat up Lydia. She's like the Jar Jar Binks of Skyrim.
Yay! Good luck, dude. Kick your ass.
You have to go through Gunvar first.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily trust my research, but I was just tapping around on the internet the other day, and I saw some rumors that maybe some news about Elder Scrolls 6 has started to surface. Has anyone else heard anything about this?
Oh god, there's
I
all
have
these
not.
rumors.
Yeah, but evidently Argonia might be
No,
the location.
I don't believe for a
That has
second we
been-
would call it Argonia since it's Black Marsh anyway. I mean, I may be completely wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay. So that does not seem like a trustworthy rumor then. I just got a
don't
tickle
think it
in my heart because they said March of 2016, and I was like, ooh, sounds good. But
Yeah, but
who
they
knows?
haven't announced another Fallout yet, and that seems like that would be next in the cycle. So it just doesn't.
And that's what
it
all the
doesn't
comments
sound
said
right.
underneath the article was everyone
Exactly.
bitching about the next Fallout game. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I guess I'd be the last one to announce my character. I have a female Redguard named Mania Ababna. And Mania has a speech of 100, two-handed skill also of 100, and restoration is still stuck at 57. She is currently a level 47, supposed to be in Lakeview Manor, but right now she has set up camp over at Severin Manor, over in Solstheim. And Scouts Many Marshes is taking care of the kids, and looks like Mania will be gone for a couple of months, so Mania is very excited for the large purse cash out that she will get upon returning back to Lakeview Manor. Hopefully it should be 5,000 gold or something. Hopefully it still compounds over the time that we're gone.
Unless Scouts Many Marshes buy some shoes.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said unless Scouts Many Marshes buy some shoes.
He's got some alligator boots he's had to die on.
Got to treat himself.
Yeah. Right.
I was planning on staying just on Solstheim for this whole duration of the trip, but my frost troll has died, so I'm trying to debate whether to make a trip back to the mainland to get a frost troll and bring him to Solstheim. So we'll see if I actually end up going back.
He won't last 1 second against those ash.
Can you bring
spawn.
it? Yeah, no shit. Frost trolls, I thought they would be much stronger than they actually turned out to be. I'm kind of disappointed in those. But I still have my follower, Ogle, who is an orc gentleman. My first follower died. Rhea, I believe she was maybe one of the companions, maybe?
Yeah, Rhea's a companion.
She died a long time ago now. Ogle and I have been romping around Solstheim, having a good old time. Does anybody have any exciting events or cool bugs or glitches or weird stuff that happened in their game?
I had a Skyrim moment, I guess, when I was farming for souls, and I got this rabbit running away from me, and I thought, what if I just calm down the rabbit, then he'll sit down quietly and wait till I murder him, right? And it worked a treat. He just sat there and he was waiting for me, and as I was running up to him, a saber-toothed tiger jumped off a ledge, murdered my bunny.
Oh no.
And I got my soul after all, but that was kind of funny. Like it's these random things that are great. It's not just mammoths dropping from the sky, it's the little things.
Well, that's great. Someone brought up on the Facebook page not too long ago about getting a goat as a follower or a fox as a pet if you have a girl child. I thought that was really interesting. Can you get a bunny as a pet?
No, it's her pet then. She brings it home and it's her little plaything. It's not
nice.
yours, I assume.
Well, that's fine. It's, just for the kids, though.
Yeah,
I've always
Like
wanted to
Babette,
get-
the vampire kid, she got those spiders. I guess it's the same thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. That's cool.
You never
Yeah,
played the Dark Brotherhood?
Oh, the girl in
Isn't
the...
that Babette?
Yeah, Babette. Yeah.
Babette.
She does have that spider, you're right.
Yeah, she does. I actually met her on a bridge once when I was out. She's like, "Hello, listener," and she just finished killing somebody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never seen her.
Once you install Dawn Guard, she can be found roaming around and feeding.
Is that what it is? Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have Dawn Guard installed, but I still haven't come across her out in the world. So will she have a spider with her out in the outside?
No, the spider actually just
Mhm.
the spider's always at home.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun if you saw her like riding the spider around outside or something.
That'd be
Put
cool.
a saddle on that son of a bitch, ride it around. That'd be great.
They're big enough.
That's great. That's a cool story. Does anybody else have any interesting little side funnies or anything to get into before we launch into our adventures?
I was doing Dragonborn Unearthed, and I went back twice. And as I was clearing it out, I think either the second or third time, I fell through the floor in the dig site, and managed to open up one of the black books while I was in there. And then I
Wow, before you were supposed to be able to have access?
Yeah, exactly. And then I had to sit there and try to find a place to fall through the floor again so that I could end up outside of there. And I wandered around, finally found a place. Although I usually carry a plate with me now because I had one place where I had the correct claw, and for some reason it didn't want to open the door. So I used the plate to walk through the wall.
How does that work?
What you do is you drop the plate on the floor, pick it up, and you kind of stick it on the wall, and you walk into the plate, and the plate kind of like jiggles around, and you got to find the right spot, and then the plate somehow goes through the wall, and you go through the wall with it.
Whoa, it's like a portal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a havoc thing. Yeah, it's what they call it. You can do it with a bucket too by jumping in a bucket.
Oh, I've never done the bucket. I've always done the plate.
Jump in a bucket.
Yeah.
Through the floor or something?
It works on consoles a lot. It doesn't. I think it's been patched, and if you use the unofficial patches on PC, I believe a lot of those little portal bugs have been patched.
Well, that's funny. That's great.
Yeah, well, it came in really handy once because there's one place where you fall down into a pit, and until you get through to the word wall and everything else that's in there, there's no way out of that place. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to one of my old saves because it was probably about 5 levels down and just.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I have this plate over here. Let's try it. And I managed.
That's great.
And I managed to get through the keyed gate that usually you have to put in the thing on the you put in the claw, and hopefully you have all the things in the right order, and then you go through. And I was able to get out of there without having to go back to an old save.
That's awesome. Where did you read about the plate portal? Where'd you discover that?
I was going through. I do a lot of YouTubing on my lunch breaks at work. So back when people were really big into Skyrim, everybody was posting stuff. So I go through a lot of those, and I find all the little tips and tricks, and I'm just like, well, that's might come in handy one day. And sure enough, yeah.
That's awesome.
I've heard of some people actually stealing the ebony sword. Without having to pickpocket the king or the mage or having to do anything, and they get it like at really low levels, and then they just build it up from there. Because they said that sword actually levels up with you, which is kind of neat.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yeah.
The ebony blade.
The ebony blade, yes.
Nice. Maybe it was you, Juan, who uploaded it, but has anyone seen the cabbage bucket trick shot video on YouTube?
Yes. Yeah, I loaded that up. It was people having
that was one of my favorite.
A blast.
That was one of my favorite Skyrim just funny videos that I've ever seen. They were like standing on the rooftops, and they put like a bucket down on the street, like across the way or whatever, and they were just bouncing a cabbage off of one roof, sliding down the other side, and waiting until they're like doing trick shots of throwing cabbages into buckets. It was hilarious.
It was great. They have one where it's all the outtakes. It shows they show about 3 or 4 different fails on a lot of those trick shots they did. But yeah, it looks like they had so much fun doing that.
I can just imagine how many thousands of cabbages they would have had to waste and to line up all that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you just save right before you do it, and then just reload, keep reloading.
Reload each time.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, again, welcome everyone, and I think it's time to go ahead and launch into our quests. We are doing quests number 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5 is Served Cold. 6 is Rodolph's House. 7 is the Chief of Thirsk Hall, or Retaking Thirsk, depending on how you played that particular quest. And quest number 8 is the Temple of Mirok with Waking Dreams Black Book there at the end.
Okay.
Colin, how does Served Cold go for you? Would you like to remind us just a little bit about the quest in general?
Served Cold is after you've reopened the mines and the steward, I believe he's a steward, Adril Adrano, I think his name is. He wants to see you privately to discuss a threat that's against the guy who's in charge of House Redoran on Solstheim. And he believes that there's somebody who's after him, trying to assassinate him. So he asks you for aid because nobody knows you in town, and then you go and you speak to the bartender in the Retching Netch, and he says if you go into the temple where they burn all the bodies, and there's somebody there leaving stuff behind in honor of this person who's dead, who could be involved. So you sit there and you wait, and then somebody comes in, you find out who it is, and you find out that if it's the people from Severin House, House Hlalu, as that guy keeps on insisting on pronouncing it. And you have to break into the house to find evidence. If you're really, really sneaky, you can get inside the house, in and out, without them finding you. But pretty much the way they react the minute you walk through the door, even if you can't be seen, they've still got the weapons out waiting for you. So I think you're supposed to go in there and kill them the way they've got it set out. But
that seems to be the case, yeah.
Yeah. They're ready and waiting.
Yeah, but so you go in, you find evidence that they're actually with the Morag Tong sent to kill or assist in helping to kill the guy who's in charge of House Redoran, because I can't remember his name. You bring that back, and he says, right, I'm going to send a couple of guards out to this fort, this old abandoned fort, and you need to go out there and take care of everybody, but there's a couple of Redoran guard there waiting for you, but you get there, they're already dead, and then you've got to run through the fort, trying to kill everybody until you finally get to those guys. That's it.
Yeah, some help those Redoran guard would have been, huh?
Yeah.
Show up, they're already dead.
Yeah, right.
Well, they're no match for the Morag Tong, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I believe the guy who we're trying to protect is named Counselor Morvayan.
That's him.
Yeah. And we're
But
on
in
the
Skyrim, he would be like a Jarl.
yes. Sort of the leader of the Raven Rock area down there.
That's it.
And we're hot on the heels of, I believe his name was Vendel Severin.
Mm-hmm.
Vendel Severin, yeah.
Who,
But he's not Severin. He's actually.
he's really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the son of the guy that
The
Morvayn
Ulan family.
supposedly executed. Is that the? I believe that's how it worked.
Yeah, he says something about, Father, I will finally join you in death, or something.
Yeah.
That's about to kill him. That was a good summary there, Colin. Let's get into individual stories.
I'll give you that.
What's that?
It was a long summary. I don't know whether it was a good one.
No, it definitely nailed every line on my notes. Hey, David, how did Served Cold go in your adventure? How did you enjoy the trip there?
Did anyone else have a hard time to find that chain that you had to pull to open the last door? I was running through that dungeon so many times, I always ran past that chain because initially I thought there was always an option to close the other gates behind you. So I thought maybe this is a security system. See, I thought Skyrim was more clever than it usually is. I had to close all these to get the final door to open. And I was reading online, and people had the same problem. They thought it was a bug. No, they just ran past the chain. Other than that, the quest chain was kind of great. I mean, this is how you get your house in the end.
Yeah, that chain was hard to see. I couldn't really understand. I spent a good, amount of time running around in that dungeon. And another part that I didn't like about it is there's usually in these dungeons or different places or forts, whatever you go to, there's like a back exit after you beat the whole thing. This one you had to backtrack all the way out of, right? I didn't, unless I just missed it. Was there an easy way out at the end?
No, you had to run all the way back.
Yeah.
I mean, once you got all the doors open, it's just a straight corridor, pretty much.
Yeah.
It also gave one a nice insight into like Morrowind's politics, how that works with houses, with their many different families and the intrigues. Don't know what it's like in Daggerfall.
Yeah. Did you play all the Elder Scrolls games so far, David? Are you?
No, I've
practiced
started with Oblivion. Played that obsessively. When Morrowind was around, I was still engrossed in the Gothic series. Don't know how popular that was in the US.
Well, Skyrim was my first venture into the Elder Scrolls.
Oh, you haven't
so
played
I have no
Oblivion?
idea. I have purchased it and played about 20 minutes, and
Do it.
I got out of the first sewer dungeon cave thing. But I have not progressed any further. I was thinking maybe after we do the Civil War quest, maybe we could do an Oblivion roundtable if anyone would be interested.
Absolutely. I'd be
awesome.
down for that. Because Oblivion, while it does not hold up technically, the quests are much more interesting and a little messed up. I haven't run across a lot of things in Skyrim that are as messed up as the stuff in Oblivion.
I think I've heard Colin
from
say
a quest
that.
perspective.
I think I've heard Colin say
especially
that
the Daedric quests in Oblivion, they tended to get a lot darker than they get in Skyrim.
Yeah, the Daedric quests are evil. You have to kill
And
this guy.
Sheergora take the cake as usual.
I believe I've heard Colin mention that he likes the actual storyline and world of Oblivion more, but Skyrim has the better technical gaming.
Oh yeah, sure, of course. I mean, they gotta improve something, right?
Yeah, but I have Oblivion on my gaming bookshelf there, but I have yet to put it back in. But I was thinking of mentioning that to anyone, but since it came up, I thought I'd bring that up if anyone.
After going through Dragonborn, I'm tempted to give Morrowind another trial. I've only installed it so far, looked at it, and said, yeah, it's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've put about 25 hours on Morrowind, and traveling around and talking to in the different towns and talking to different people in charge, you do hear that. I mean, the assassins group, what are they called? The
Morag Tong.
Yeah, the Morag Tong. They definitely have a really they're strong presence, and murdering and assassinating leaders is basically just every day, just another day for Morrowind.
If there's someone who knows a lot more about the history than I, can someone give just sort of a brief rundown of what the Morag Tong is, who they are, what they do?
Well, in game terms, they're pretty much what the Silent Brotherhood is in Oblivion and Skyrim, but they're more, while the Silent Brotherhood is a criminal organization in Skyrim and Oblivion, the Morag Tong are a little different. They're more like ninja. They're more part of the society. It's not unusual for a royal family to work with the Morag Tong to further their roles. They've just hired help.
Yeah, they're sanctioned.
Yeah.
They are sanctioned killers.
But they're not soldiers for any one particular family. They're hired.
More like ninjas.
Yeah.
It's like the city guard.
Well, and they're political, whereas the Dark Brotherhood is all about money.
And murdering people.
Yeah, the Morag Tong is political and very,
So they actually
very
have
strictly regulated.
ethics or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. You just don't bow over a book in your closet and the Morag Tong show up. No. They wanna know what's in it for them.
Nice. Hey Juan, how did you find Served Cold?
Served Cold was pretty nice. I actually managed to sneak into the manor, broke into the safe, found the evidence, and took it. So when I went to Ash Follow Cave, Citadel, everybody was there, and I had to I actually snuck in and just assassinated each individual as I was going through. Yeah.
Great. So if you go into the house and you get in undetected and you get out with the evidence undetected, that means that Tilisu and Miri Severin, the two, I believe they're both girls, daughters maybe?
It's a mother and daughter.
Mother and daughter.
Yeah, supposedly his daughter.
Yeah.
But if you sneak past them, that means they're not dead, so that you actually run into them later when you go to the Asheville Citadel.
Yes. And I managed to sneak up behind each one and just assassinate them until the last gate. And then since I have to actually talk to the last guy, then a nice little fight ensued after that.
Do you have your follower with you in tow, or did you do this by yourself?
All by myself. I have such a hard time dealing with followers because they just get in the way.
Yeah.
Wait, so leaving them alive is actually the smart thing to do because then they don't die in the house, and you don't have to explain to visitors why it smells a little bit weird in here. I see. No, I just murdered them right there and then.
That creepy stain on the floor, that's nothing. Don't worry about that. I'll put a rug over that.
It's kind of like the bloodstains after the butcher.
Yeah.
They finally actually one of the options is to have all the blood cleaned out, but you have to pay for that.
I think that's worth paying for, probably.
Yeah, it is. It's better than having to explain to the neighbors why there's blood on your ground. Yeah, no, really.
Where is there blood slipping through your walls?
I killed a goat.
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
And so the reward for Served Cold is we get a nice house on Souls Time there in Raven Rock. It's called Severin Manor. Has everyone? What are you guys doing with Severin Manor? Who's setting up shop there, or who's traveling back and forth? What are you doing, Victor?
Oh, I'm not going to use it much since I'm well established at Heliarchan Hall, but I will sleep there while I'm on Souls Time. I did put some gear on a couple of the mannequins and fiddle around, but I don't really like it all that much. So. And I have a mod that gives me a house near the Skull Village, so.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
What's it called? Do you remember?
Frost Ivy Glen or something like that. It's a little. It's not buggy, but it caused me a little trouble at first. I had to mess with it before.
Is it similar to like Lakeview Manor and Heliarchan where you'd actually have to build it, or is it just already there?
It's just a user house, a player house. It's a cute little thing. I forget who did it. It's not. There's a very well-known house modder by the name of Eleonora, but I don't think it's one of hers. But it's a nice little mod. So.
Hey, Colin, what are your intentions with Severin Manor?
I mean, I store all the stuff because I'm not going back. I'll store all the stuff that's because I don't want to be carrying around too much stuff. I've hung up. I found some ebony armor. I've put that up, and then obviously I found the cudgel, so I've got that hanging off of one of the weapon slots. So I've got that there. Other than that, I just store my all the stuff in the barrels.
Yeah, I'm also using it as storage. I've decided to not go back home for the time being. Just planning on using Severin Manor as my storage unit, and will just try to sell off everything before I come back, see how much gold I can get for it. Maybe do that whole loop where I smith everything up as I can, and then enchant everything, and then see how much money I can get for it before I go back home. I'll try to do all that after I fight Mirok for the last time, and try to get a little bit of gold before heading back home to Scout's Many Marshes just to see how he's been doing for the many months that I've been gone. Juan,
Oh, that money adds up. If you haven't spoken to your spouse for a while, he got some. No worries.
Yeah, it does,
Sweet.
yeah, really.
Well, that's my incentive for staying out of town for a little while. Having a little fun on the side action there.
Yeah, who doesn't want to go out and travel and then come back and collect money from your spouse?
Yeah, that's a great arrangement. Hey, Juan, are you sticking around Severn Manor?
Some adventure, I guess.
I am using it for storage as well. I sleep there every once in a while. I have had to go back to Skyrim a few times because I just want to go kill some dragons. Because every time it seems like, well, the last time I killed a dragon over on Solstheim, Mirak stole the soul from me. So
That bastard.
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, he basically just I killed some kind of like lizard, snake, dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, this soul is mine. I'm like, oh, you dick.
I like it. Are they called serpentine dragons, maybe?
Yeah, serpentine dragons.
That's
I
the
really like
one,
how they
yeah.
look. They look like the Lord of the Rings Nazgul or whatever those things are called.
That guy is a bastard too. He one-shot killed me.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, I ended up basically the second time through. Luckily, I saved as I was coming down into the hill. I'm like, hey, wait, I got master level illusion. So I just did whatever the frenzy equivalent is, and all the Death Lords and Draugr that were down there were attacking him, and basically I was just sniping them with arrows. Yeah, I was just sniping them with arrows from far away, and managed to take them out that way, and then finished off whatever Draugr were left after that. But yeah, he stole the soul from me, so I'm like, oh, you bastard. So yeah, I went back to Skyrim, killed a few dragons because I need some of those shouts, and I have a lot of shouts that I actually have not activated yet. So yep.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Dragon Souls saved up. There's a bunch of shrouds I still haven't unlocked yet. So our next quest is Rodolph's house. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that word. Victor, do you have... Sorry?
Can I ask a question about that one first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it attached to a quest or something, or you just kind of show up there?
As far as I could tell through my research, it doesn't even show up in your quest log or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right, 'cause
Does it?
Yeah,
Not really.
It's listed as other quests on the USP, and it shows up. Actually, does it show up in the journal? Maybe not. I don't know.
That's what I was saying. I found it when I was searching for all the quests that you could do on Solstheim. I found it, but there isn't a quest giver. It's not like you go talk to someone and they're like, hey, go check out Rodolph's house. I didn't see it show up in my
It's less of a quest, really. It's more of a very elaborate set piece.
Yes.
Which you can explore.
Yeah. So I found it on the way to what was the name of the citadel where you get the chaos enchantment? That was the last episode there.
That wasn't Frostflow.
Fort Frostmouth. That's right. It's right near Fort Frostmouth.
Yeah.
Frostmouth.
And there's several ash spawn there, and in the course of killing the ash spawn and exploring the burnt out house, you find a little trap door. You go down inside the trap door, and there are some bandits down there. And once you kill the bandits, you find the body of what's his name? It starts with a B.
Bjorn Ulfer or something.
Bjorn Ulfer. And it's kind of a poignant little story. He and his lover Rodolph. I guess Rodolph has been driven fairly mad by noises coming from the basement, and so if you explore the basement once you've killed the bandits, you discover a bookshelf with some wind coming out from underneath it, and if you activate the bookshelf, big clue there, you go down. Yeah, right. You explore through the tunnel and you find some dwarven the vestiges of a dwarven ruins in there, and it turns out that's the noise that drove him crazy. And eventually, if you explore outside the house and down by the coast, you find Rodolph in a boat. His dead body was trying to get back to Skyrim and join his lover.
Well,
So
actually, I
it
missed
is
that
a little
the
set
first time.
piece. Yeah.
What did you say,
Because
David?
other bookshelf, I missed that the first time because other bookshelves also say activate bookshelf to like store books in them.
Oh, really?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
mean you can use Hroldolf's house as like a little...
No, once
Sort
you
of like
activate the
underneath his
bookshelf,
cabin?
it opens up. I only figured that out once I read the note. Like, oh, there's something behind the bookshelf. Maybe I should check that out again. And
But,
isn't it just really sad? Like, I mean, you can marry whomever you want in the game, but this is like the first gay couple you encounter
Yeah.
in the game totally, and it's just sad insanity, murder, and tragedy. That's kind of sad, isn't it?
That's why I say it's a poignant story. Yeah, it's kind of sweet and sad and yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's a poignant story, Victor.
And I really wonder what happened there, because the guy Rodolph, he made a run for it. You can find him down at a little boat, and apparently a burnt spriggan like killed him off, and he was making a run for it with a lot of goods. He was carrying his riches out, so he got out. He wanted to get away. So what really happened there? It's kind of weird to piece it together, like the timeline of what transpired there. And
Yeah, some
the
of
other
it doesn't
guy
really
did.
make a lot
And
of
who
sense
actually
because
killed him? Who stabbed him with that dagger?
Yeah, that's true,
I mean, there's
because...
the corpse, there's a Nordic dagger in front of him, and that weird Dwemer machine in the background. And
Yeah.
the bandits tell you, they talk about that letter, making fun of the guys.
Right.
And one guy asks the other one, "Yo, is that the one we left in the tunnel? Did they kill him? I don't know."
That's a good point. Maybe Hroldolf killed him before he ran out of the house or something. That is funny. I never actually sat down and sort of analyzed that, because you're right, the Reaver bandits down there in the basement, they were saying, oh, maybe that's the guy who's dead over there. So it's obvious they didn't kill him. So who did?
So if Rodolph would have been around when the bandits came, they would have killed him too. But he wasn't there anymore. So
Yeah.
maybe it was all a big setup to lure the guy to Saltzheim in the middle of nowhere to stab him and get
So
all the
you think
presents
that's
home.
why he wrote the
I don't
letter
know.
saying don't come
Why
because
did
in fact
Why did he run from Solitude in the first place? And which Dwemer machine drove? I mean, Markarth is built on a whole Dwemer city, and no one's going crazy there. So what's going on there? I
Interesting.
don't know.
So it appears that Hroldolf has been killed maybe by a Spriggan down there. At least when I went down to the boat, there was a Spriggan sort of waiting to attack me. Did anyone else see the Spriggan down there?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a burnt spriggan.
I didn't go down to the boat, so.
No. Well, you missed out on
a
some
boat.
good Spriggan wood or
Yes,
whatever.
I did.
And loot. As I said, he was carrying his riches out. He had a lot of gems and items and stuff, and little
Oh,
chests,
wow.
I guess.
Yeah, you're right. There is some stuff to loot down there, Juan, if you want to go pay your respects to creepy old Hroldolf who killed his game.
Hroldolf's ass.
So is Hroldolf's house a place sort of like Anissa's cabin on the mainland where you can use it as, you think storage is safe in the basement and all that? Like you can move into Hroldolf's house if you want? Doesn't seem like there's a ton of storage, though.
Not really. I looked at the USP and there's no designated safe storage there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my assumption would be because there's Reavers in there that eventually it respawns new Reavers in there.
You think the Reavers will come back?
Yeah, because I seem to notice that a lot. Although when I was in Skyrim, one place where normally there's a lot of bandits, I accidentally killed some Stormcloaks because they took over a fort instead of. So now I kind of sneak in and figure out what's actually there before I start killing people, because every single Stormcloak wanted to kill me after I did that, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
when you come across the road, would have it out for you.
yeah. So I learned my lesson there.
Anyone else have anything for Hroldolf's house?
No, that's about it.
Let's see. For me, I did find. I found the Moon Amulet, which goes to Targo.
Cargo, yeah.
Yeah, Carjo's.
Carjo.
I found Carjo's Moon Amulet there. So I found that, and yeah, Scorpion spent a little bit of time there because he found himself a copy of the Lusty Argonian.
Oh, nice.
So after he killed the Reavers, he had a little bit of alone time.
Wait, that amulet, is it lying around somewhere, or is it in a container?
It's kind of like everything else in Skyrim. It just kind of sometimes random stuff appears and it has different places where it can be.
Oh, it's like a radiant thing.
Correct. And for me,
I
it
see.
just happened. The Moon Amulet just happened to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, one of the Dwemer bolts that you get for What's Her Face was in there.
Yeah, I was looking on the wiki page and it says that you can find let's see, enhanced crossbow schematics, Carjo's amulet, and I did get a East Empire pendant there also.
I found an
The
East
Strong
Empire
Box.
pendant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just normal. So yeah, it some of those things are kind of random where they appear, but for me, it happened to be Carjo's amulet there.
Now, with this character, I sometimes miss quest items which are lying around in the environment because I mayhem those dudes. So I got the Reavers to kill themselves. But what that spell also does is knock things about. So
Yeah.
that bookshelf was empty when I got to it.
Yeah, I think the Moon Amulet was actually in one of the chests down there, so you might actually be safe on that. But yeah, you can always go take a look down there.
Is it in one of the Dwemer chests behind the bookshelf?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh yes, because I went into the passage, found a hidden Dwemer ruin and Moon Amulet, so it was behind the bookshelf.
Oh, by the way, the very first time I done that quest, well, not quest because it's not a quest, but the very first time I walked in there, I spent 20 minutes in that room trying to figure out how to get into the Dwemer ruin behind it.
Wow, you quit early. I think I spent longer.
You guys are sorely disappointed.
I'm missing something. I have to push something. Just wandering around that room, opening chests about 30 times, lifting up the body, throwing it against the wall. Nothing was working.
It's like another hidden chain, just like in the Ashflow Citadel.
Yeah, nothing. I was like, okay, fine. I guess there's no way to get through there because I'm just like, ooh, place to explore. No, I can't get through.
How soon after you've been searching for a long time do you actually go to the wiki page to see if there's actually a way out of there?
I just gave up.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, it is now time that we take a break to let our sponsors have a little time to tell us something a little bit about their product. So we will take a break, and we will be right back after a word from our sponsors. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Potty break.
How long a break are we taking?
He's gone.
Yeah, you can.
All right.
However long it takes, I guess.
All right, see you guys in a bit.
See you soon.
I have one thing that I need to confess, and that is that I have not gone through the section of Apocrypha that we're supposed to have finished this time. I just
Well, you haven't missed much.
totally forgot. No, I made a few attempts, got killed by Seekers, and then I got sidetracked with other things in the last couple of weeks, and just totally forgot to go and finish it. So
Wait, which one? We were supposed to go in there?
yeah, it's the,
Waking Dream. If you read the Waking Dreams Black Book.
yeah.
Actually, I didn't think you were supposed to do anything. I thought that it just went to a cut screen of Mirok just talking to you.
No, that's the end of Mirak's temple, but then I think you go down one more level or something. I forget where, but then there's the book.
No, that is the book.
Yeah,
when I read the book, he just says, "Oh, I can tell you are a Dragonborn, but you are not."
Yeah, he's monologuing.
And he just kind of taunts you for a little while and then sends you back out. I don't think you actually have to fight anything.
No, there's another piece, and I haven't done that either. For the last batch of quests, the Final Descent, you find a black book there and get teleported there, and you can explore and unlock the power of that book.
Yeah, well, maybe
That's an optional thing. You find that in Bloodskull Barrow.
Yeah, that was on the
That was last episode.
That was last episode, right?
That's Winds of Change or something. This one, you read the book the first time, and
Exactly.
it takes you to the cutscene with Mirak, right? But then if you read it again, you go into a section of Apocrypha.
Oh, I didn't realize
you
you
do?
read it a second time.
You
I
know
didn't
that.
realize that.
Yeah, I didn't do that either.
Well, shit.
Well,
maybe
you do
I'm-
eventually,
maybe I'm not
but I
supposed
think
to,
you're not supposed to go there yet. I mean, you get there within the whole quest line, yeah. You don't necessarily have to go there yet.
I didn't even try to read it a second time.
Me neither. Huh.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I was actually a little bit confused on our because I was looking at the list, and it turns out that I did Temple of Mirak last time. I was prepared for the last time with Temple of Mirak.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that last episode, how if you don't watch out, you'll just automatically go into the temple with Freya, and she'll take you on your adventure.
Yeah.
Well, let's start up
That's
again
what I
so we have an
did.
edit point here.
And we're back. Thank you to our kind sponsors for their nice words.
Thank you.
So we were just talking...
Thanks, Exxon.
Mobile Exxon.
Yay, product.
And Ron?
And Ron, yeah.
Thank you, American banking system. And so we were just discussing a little bit in the break about the Temple of Mirak quest. And Juan, what were you saying about the Temple of Mirak quest?
Yeah, so I went to Temple of Mirak, and I was talking to Freya, and basically she's just like, "Oh, let's go down," and I went down and went through the temple and opened up the black book.
So Juan jumped into the Temple of Mirak before we were actually supposed to go into the Temple of Mirak, but that's fine because as we discussed in the last episode, Victor said that, I believe it was Victor who was saying that, if you don't pay attention, you get sucked right into the next quest and the cultists come out and pop out and you have to kill them, and then you just follow Freya down into the temple. If you're not careful, you go ahead and launch into the next quest.
Oh, hell, you get those cultists and you want to kill them.
Yeah, I just want to find more of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we launch into the Temple of Mirak, we had the quest Chief of Thirsk Hall, or Retaking Thirsk. So let's just, Juan, which one did you play it?
I kind of did both, because first I went
Okay.
to and talked to the Reekling Chief. So he asked me to go get Bilgemuck by giving him meat.
That's a great name for a pig.
Yeah, is it Bilgemuck or Bilgemuck? I think Bilgemuck.
Yeah, I would say
pretties it
Bilgemuck.
up a little. Bilgemuck sounds great.
Yeah.
So after that, he had me get 10 red grass, which is the Scathcraw, for whatever dance he wanted to do, get kind of kinky, whatever. I don't know, not my problem, you know.
Don't judge
That's
us.
the Godspeak dance.
So I was kind of, and then I did that, and then he's like, "Oh, we're ready to do this," and I'm like, "Well, if they keep this place, then I don't get to do any. I don't get because they have a really nice forge there and everything else. So I decided to help Bujold to defeat the Reeklings. So then she asks me to be her second. We went to Brothmon's Barrow. He found her unworthy, and she was not happy because I agreed with him. But I mean, anybody that hires me to go help them is really not worthy to be in charge. So she attacked me, and I had to kill her. And now I'm working on gathering supplies for Kuvar to set up, for whoever to set up the forge over there, because I think it'd be nice to have a nice little place to get more stuff.
So you are playing it as Retaking Thirsk, then.
That is correct.
And could you go into a little bit more with it? the first time I played on Solstheim, I did it as retaking Thirsk, and you're right. You find like some old guy and finds the Bujold unworthy, and then I don't even remember what the setup is there. What happens when you
What happens is you go to Rothman. He has his burrow over there, and when you walk in, you see like water and everything clears out. And you walk over, and I believe his axe is sticking into something, and she goes over to grab it, and Rothman says, "Yeah, you're not really worthy for that. You need to prove yourself again." And then I think she like sits there and questions me and says, he will back me up and this and that, and he asks me, well, what do you think? And I go, well, I don't think so. No, not really. And she gets a little upset.
So he doesn't actually provide her a quest or whatever to prove herself. He just deems her unworthy automatically?
Basically, he deems her unworthy because of the fact that she lost the hall to begin with.
The mead hall, yeah.
Yeah, he said they got gluttonous and lazy and didn't deserve to have somebody in charge.
Well, when you lounge around and drink mead all day, of course you're going to get a little soft around the edges, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So so they need to keep training and basically make themselves worthy. And when you go back, they say, okay, well, I guess we need to make ourselves worthy to have somebody have an actual leader here. So.
And how do they do that? How do they make themselves worthy?
Basically, just defend it, and I haven't really finished that quest yet. I'm still trying to gather all the supplies, because the hardest part is actually you need to find some of the that really hard ice stuff for him to rebuild his forge. So
he has like a Stalrim forge of some kind, then.
Yes.
So you help him rebuild his forge, and then I assume you take that band of, I assume they're Nords, and then you attack the Thirsk Mead Hall to clean out the Reeklings. Is that how that would progress?
No. First you clear out the Mead Hall of the Reeklings, and they start rebuilding in there, and then from there that's when he starts to rebuild his forge. And if I do find out anything more once I go past that, I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that.
Nice. Colin, how did you play it?
When we came out of the Temple of Mirak, I ran down, and it was to the beach, and that's where the Nords were. So I joined up with them. I went up and retook Thirsk, killed all the Reeklings, and then she asked me to be her second. So I went to Rothman's tomb. He asked, she says, I was worthy before, so I just need him to redo it. But then he says no, and then she says, all right, well, this place went to hell under him anyway. He's the one who gave me authorization to be in charge anyway, so it's kind of his fault. And I went, yeah, pretty much. Actually, I don't really give a crap, so yeah, do whatever you want, and then I left. Very nice. Victor, how did you play it?
I always side with the Reeklings.
Oh, nice. Tell us a bit about that adventure.
I've never played it any other way. I should because the storyline sounds really interesting, but I just have a real soft spot for Reeklings. So I go down and kill all those nasty Nords, and go from there. There isn't much more to it than that. You end up with a little Reekling follower, and that's about it.
So the benefit, I also played it as the chief of Thirsk Hall, where you go find Biljamuk, and then you get the 10 strands of the red grass or Scathecrow, and then you go down to the beach and you attack all the Nords who have a little camp set up down there. And then after you kill all the Nords, the chief Reekling turns to you and says, well, now you are a threat because you're so powerful. I'm scared you're going to take over the mead hall, I believe, is something he says that. So he gets agitated and starts to attack you. And if you haven't let all the guys go yet, then the Reeklings will actually attack him with you, so you can actually kill the Chief Reekling, and then you become the Chief of Thirsk Hall. And you're right, Victor. You get a Reekling follower at that point. Can you explain a little bit how that works? Do you have to summon him? Is he always there? How does he come about?
Summon him, no, he just acts like any other follower. But it's only from that tribe, because if you go to other Reekling areas, they will attack you.
Oh, interesting.
At least that was my experience. Again, this is only the second time I've actually gone this far with the main quest. The first time was on my 360, but in that one, yeah, if you find other Reeklings, they will attack you.
I haven't come across another band of Reeklings yet, but again, I also did the Chief of Thirsk Hall, so I have a Reekling follower. But I found
they follow you all the way over to Skyrim, and
really
they will. Oh yeah, they're wonderful.
Awesome.
I don't know. I think they're great.
No, because I was wondering, because when it was just me and Ogle, and I also have Vigilance the War Dog following me right now, but I found that when we were adventuring and wandering around the island, that I couldn't find my Reekling follower. Like, he wasn't in our warring party. He wasn't following us around. But when we went into the next quest, and we'll go ahead and jump into Temple of Mirok here in a minute, when we were doing Temple of Mirok, whenever we'd come across some opponents, some bad guys, that the Reekling would pop up out of nowhere and be on our side and attack everyone and fight with us, and then he would go away. I wouldn't see him anymore. Like, he only popped up when we were fighting. It seemed like. I was like, well,
I'm not sure whether that's intended or a bug, but I had that too.
Really?
When I went to the Temple of Mirok, there were 2 Reeklings popping up, and then I could recruit them as followers if I wanted to. And also, when I tried that out, and then sent the Reekling on its merry way, when I was done, it said your pet left your service. So I was wondering, can you get a follower and a Reekling?
Oh, okay, so it's treated like
that would be kind of cool. Oh, and by the way, I murdered all those Gnolls as well. I wanted to have minions.
The Chief of them too. Great.
Yeah, I played it as the Chief. I basically birthed a new. I mean, they want to have a stab at civilization. Why not? And I mean, isn't that what founding a kingdom is all about? You go there, you murder the locals, show them who's the boss, and then you say, okay, all right, this is my kingdom now.
And they're even making a good. They're making a good effort to even learn some English for you too.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's imperialism at its best, David. That's perfect.
Show up, kill the local culture, take them under
your power. Exactly.
It's always, or at least it used to be, about who's better at lobbing off heads.
So the benefit, again, of doing the Chief of Thirsk Hall portion is that you get a Reekling follower. And Colin, what's the benefit of doing it the other way?
You don't get a Reekling follower.
That's it? You don't get like a special Stalrim source or anything like that?
Yeah, second prize, 2 Reekling followers.
Yeah. I don't think you get anything.
Several, actually. You get 3 types of followers. You get either a warrior, a hunter, or a scout, and you can equip them with different weapons.
Oh, you can? Wow.
Sure, you can trade with them. That's the good. It's a pet you can trade with.
I haven't even talked to them. They just kind of popped up out of nowhere and disappeared before I could talk to them. I haven't even tried to communicate with them as they've been my follower.
Well, they don't have a lot of interesting things to say.
For that.
Yeah. Gura, whatever.
And don't use their spears as arrows.
There's no actual real benefit to siding with the Nords, then.
Yeah, not that I remember. I don't remember getting anything.
I think only
weapon or anything.
Yeah, no, I think the only advantage is eventually, I think you kind of help rebuild Thirsk Hall, and you just have a place for trading and probably sleeping.
That makes sense. I wonder if anybody...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
No, go ahead, Victor.
No, I was just a quick aside. I was wondering if anybody had made the connection with the Nord Bujold and Lois McMaster Bujold, who's a well-known science fiction writer who wrote the Miles Vorkosigan books, and so I'm just curious if there was if it was an homage to her, but probably not.
Good call.
Sorry, I'm just a sci-fi geek. I can't.
No,
help it.
I'm sure there's all sorts of nods all over the place like that I just don't get because I'm not familiar with the people. But and so
yeah, they got a Pac-Man reference. Who knows?
Yeah.
What's the Pac-Man reference?
It's in a house in Markarth on a shelf. There's a goat cheese wheel, like cut out. It looks like a Pac-Man, and then there's like little lots of garlic, like little dots from Pac-Man. It just looks like a scene from Pac-Man, straight up.
And then there's 3 ghosts following them: Inky, Blinky, and...
Oh, well, and the most blatant one is the notched pickaxe, but I guess everybody knows about that one. So.
Yeah, we've talked about that one before.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. I came across that just reading an article one day, so I figured I'd run up to the top of the Throat of the World and find that one. The nod to is it Minecraft? I guess I've never actually played Minecraft, so I don't know. I just see all sorts of Minecraft stuff when you go into like a Target or something these days. They have all kinds of Minecraft toys and shirts and kids' clothes and everything. Minecraft just must be huge all over the place.
Well, that's why he's a millionaire now. Yeah.
And he just sold it too, right? Didn't I read an article where Minecraft was sold to a new developer or something?
No, it was sold to Microsoft.
Oh, to Microsoft. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good way to make a good penny.
Yeah, but Notch has left the company. He stated that from the beginning. If they sell it, he's going because he wants to do new stuff, and he has interesting exchanges with John Carmack over Twitter, programming.
That should be fun. Yeah. Doomcraft.
Nice. Well, after you do the Thirst Call quest, we then wander back over to the entrance of the Temple of Mirok, and we meet Freya, or Freya. I don't know however you guys would like to pronounce that.
Free.
But I assume there's some sort of base word in Latin meaning something to do with cold. I assume that's why her name was Freya.
No, I think it's more Norse because
Norse,
Latin.
Well, I mean, Spanish for cold is Frio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but Freya was Thor's wife, wasn't she? I think was.
I have no idea. I just thought it had something to do with the Nords being cold and the Skull Village being cold.
Odin's wife. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, it was Norse mythology of somewhere.
Man, there's just all sorts of nods to everything in this game that I just don't recognize any of the references. So, Colin, take me into the temple. What did you find? Where did you go? Who did you meet?
I got into the temple when Freya says, have a look around, see if we can score some stuff that might be of use in the adjoining rooms before she goes. And as you're looking around picking up the random potions, even though you got like £600,000 in your back pocket, picking up a potion that's worth 20 sovereigns or something. She wanders off and she goes, I'm just going to sit here and wait for you. She actually goes off and sits down and waits for you to finish looting the place, and then she gets back up and joins you, and you're going through and you come through some traps, and she gets to another set of traps, and then she goes, oh, well, I'm not going through that. I'm sure you'll have fun, and then she sits down on the floor and waits for you to run through it and disarm it before she carries on. So, thinking about that, I was like, has anybody ever had Freya as a follower for a serious amount of time after, doing Souls time? Is there anybody ever taken her on permanently?
I have not. Is it possible to take her out of the temple with you?
Yeah, no. When you finish the whole Mirok quest, the whole quest.
Yeah.
No, because she becomes the shaman, doesn't she? So she doesn't become a follower, does she?
What happens if you don't take her back to Skull Village?
You can convince her to follow you.
Oh, really?
I'm sure I've had it where you got the thing of I want to be the shaman of my village, and you go, well, come on, come with me, obviously the bad thing, like, like, come on, screw these guys, you don't need to come and follow me, but I've never actually taken her on as a permanent follower, but I was just wondering if anybody else had.
No, I haven't, but I'd like to try now. I wonder if since I have Ogle, if she will refuse.
Yeah, she would, you'd have to get rid of Ogle, I think. But, yeah, sorry, you get through the temple, and it's, like, the first part of it is mostly Nordic. I think most of it's, all of it's mostly Nordic, but then you get through to a certain section that's hidden at the back of the kitchen. You have to find the secret door, and then you start seeing all these strange statues that nobody recognizes when it comes to that. And it's like the lurkers, kind of weird fish people.
Yeah, the like piranha face guys.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty.
And then when you're sneaking all the way through, she just happens to mention, "Oh, it looks like they're going to come to life at any second." For the rest of the trip, you're walking through going, "Oh, is that statue going to come alive?"
A little foreshadowing.
So you're like, "Ooh, right." So you're walking up and hitting every statue with an axe. Then you come up against some like seriously tough Druga, who are coming down some stairs, and
Yeah, I had some trouble with those draugrs there.
yeah, I had the ones where they come down the ramps. You have two Drugers and like two Death Lords and a cultist. The cultist that came down was an arch cultist, and he was throwing some serious thunderbolts.
Oh, wow.
There was like, and then you had the two Drugers who were the ebony bow ones with the full Fusru Da, and I was just hiding around the corner and let Aethys and Freya and the Dromora Lord take care of them.
I think
Then I ran in
that
all the glory.
I think one of the Draugr Death Lords in my playthrough might have had a disarm because my weapon went missing. I don't know what
they
happened.
did,
It might have had a disarm.
Some of them have had the disarm shot.
Yeah, because I was fighting the one hand-to-hand, and I forgot that there was the second one, and then I got shot with an arrow a few times, so I had to turn my attention over there. Then all of a sudden I went to hit him, and I didn't have any weapon in my hand, so I was like, oh, fuck. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I don't like those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt,
the combination makes it evil, because if you get hit with one unrelenting force, and you just like ragdolling in the corner while the arch cultist is throwing lightning bolts at you, you're done.
Yeah, it's all over.
Yeah, they all team up on and beat the shit out of you real easy. Sorry, Colin, I interrupted you.
No, just go ahead. And my brain isn't what it usually is.
Yeah, it's getting late on your end.
Was it? So you get through the temple, and I'm trying to remember because it was last week, I think, that we done this. You finally get through to the bottom room after defeating Druga Death Overlord, I think, below the skeleton of a dragon that was adorning the rooftop.
Yeah, that's a pretty spot. I took some screenshots in there. That's really quite.
Yeah.
Nice.
It really shows off his hatred of the dragons there with that one, as Freya said, I think.
Yeah.
And then after, I think that's where you go down and find the book, Waking Dreams, I think.
Did anyone find a word wall going through the temple there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think, wasn't that one of the aspect of the dragon, or dragon aspect?
Dragon aspect, yeah, I'm just looking it up on
Yes,
USP.
sir.
Yeah.
The Dragon Aspect Shout. A shout improves the power of your attack damage, your resistance to damage, and improves your shout recharge time, which is nice. I like to have my shouts recharge a lot faster. And I actually looked it up. If you get the second word of Dragon Aspect, if you dip below 50% health, it will summon an ancient Dragonborn to come fight at your side. Has anyone seen that yet? I have not yet gotten the second word.
No.
I've seen it before, but I haven't unlocked them in this.
Yeah, I don't mean necessarily this playthrough, but any time. I don't know that I've ever actually accomplished that, gotten the second word.
I can barely remember to use Fusro Da, much less all the other ones.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. I didn't know who the hell he was when he first appeared in my very first playthrough. I saw he was attacking me, so I started attacking him.
Whoa, who are you? What are you doing? Stop! And so at the end of the temple, we find the book Waking Dreams. And we were discussing this a little bit in the break. What happens with our Waking Dreams book here, Victor?
Well, it takes you to like a strange realm, I guess, and there's seekers and various other things, and you get the lecture from Iraq, who does all his chest beating and saber rattling and
Crotch grabbing.
tries to intimidate you and.
Classic
and
villain monologuing.
Exactly.
Like a Bond villain.
So, and then I guess you get booted back, right? You sort of the Seekers come along and you think they're going to kill you, but they sort of boot you back into where you were.
Yeah, you think that you're going to go through, like, the last book we found.
Yeah.
What was it? Waking Dreams, maybe? Winds of Change. In the last book, you go through your little adventure there in the Apocrypha realm.
Right, and that's when Freya wants you to. Then you need to go back to the Skal village and speak to her father about what's going on. So.
Yeah, so you pop back into just your normal spot there, and Freya's saying, "Okay, now I need to go talk to my father."
Mm-hmm.
Which leads to the next quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is where I have saved and left my next quest marker. Yep. I'm sitting on the outer realm of the Skull Village there.
This was actually another dungeon where I got stuck because of mayhem, because there's this one room with a pedestal that looks like there should be a book on it, only I cast mayhem in the last room and apparently knocked it off. Oh, and I thought that must have been really important to progress, because right behind it there's like that shape in the wall where they're supposed to be a secret door. I'm not sure that there is one yet. And I thought I knocked that very important book into the corner and started looking for it, and it took me a while to find it, and then it was just another spell tome.
Oh, okay.
And turned out I just missed a little nook in a wall where I had to go in. So yeah, mayhem. It will mess a place up.
It's almost as annoying as Dawnbreaker.
Great when you got these little hallways. There's one in there too where you got these soulstone flamethrowers. If you cast a mayhem, they all get knocked off their pedestal, and they're
that's nice.
The hallway's free.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, sometimes those gems are positioned in a way that, like, as soon as you try to get around the corner, one's blasting you, got to get the other one, or else it's getting you before you can even turn around to get the first one. And sometimes they're pretty powerful. It's like, I try to Fusrodaw them off of position or whatever. It's good to know that the mayhem will knock them out of position. I try to shoot them with Thunderbolt sometimes, but I'm always bad with shooting.
I just shoot them off with an arrow.
Yeah, that's what I do want.
Yeah, I'm terrible with those arrows. If you know me at all in my playthrough, I'm always up close and personal. It's just because I suck at shooting stuff from a distance. One of the reasons I like the Fusrodaw is just because it has a nice wide, a nice wide turn where it'll just kind of knock everything out, and you don't have to be so specific with your aim. I'm just terrible at that long distance stuff.
That's a good idea. I never thought of using a shout like that to take care of it.
Or the, what is it? What's it called? Firebolt, fireball, whatever. Just the one that explodes. That's good too for knocking stuff out of the way. The distance. I don't like the ones that have to be like right on specific. I'm not good with arrows at all. I'm terrible. I suppose that means at some point I need to assign myself an archer character so I can play through that way and actually learn how to be a better archer. Maybe I'll do a wood elf character.
Yeah,
archery is really overpowered. I mean, once you get into it, it's quite powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can one-shot a lot of things.
Well,
I know that sometimes I'll do the Aura Whisper, and I mean, you see people from so far away that I just sit there and just kind of start sniping from far away.
Yeah, the only one time I concentrated on archery was for my character Poit back in the day. It was the first character I ever created, and I decided to go ahead and max out every category, and archery was, of course, the last one. that I maxed out, and I was having such trouble with it that I was reading online like different ways to get around it to make it easier. And I found someone who said, "Oh, just get Shadowmere and just sit there and shoot Shadowmere over and over and over again. It actually counts towards your archery, and since Shadowmere replenishes health so quickly, you won't actually kill the horse. And since it's your horse, it doesn't run away, and it just stands there. And you just shoot it over and over and over again." So that's how
have you never met
archery.
Maggie?
Oh yeah, up on the hill. She's got her like little training.
Yeah,
That's
she'll actually explain how Skyrim archery works for you, which is like I think she's just the coolest trainer in Skyrim because she actually shows you how to use the skill, and as you follow her instructions, you gain skill levels, but you also learn how to shoot arrows.
Yeah, she's got that like little training course up at her house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. I'm just so bad at archery. I barely passed any of her tests.
But then again, you could just use crossbows who don't arc.
Yeah, I haven't really played around with crossbows much. That's something I need to look into more too. Get into Dawn Guard, get those super souped up crossbows going. That'd be great.
Yeah, you really need the light crossbow because it reloads so much faster. It's a little less powerful, but it reloads faster, so it's a better weapon.
And then you can always get the quick reload perk that doubles that up too.
Yeah.
Where's that found?
It's on the tree. It's part of the
archery tree.
Oh, okay.
archery tree.
You see how familiar I am with the archery tree.
Yeah, I mean, if you take your sneak and your archery skill and build those up together, you have just an insane archer.
I would definitely have to play that way sometime.
Yeah, because you can get up to like
figure out-
6 times, or a 6x kill. So you can one-shot dragons.
Right. Yeah, because they even have like a 16 times sneak attack with one-handed weapons for on the
daggers.
tree. Yeah, with daggers.
Yeah,
Yes,
daggers.
exactly.
Yeah,
What
do
I'm
you
not
have to get some specific gloves for that? Do you have to get that Jester's gloves or whoever?
No, that's actually one of the perks, and then
is it?
And then on top of that, if you get some of the Dark Brotherhood equipment, you just you just become an insane assassin.
What is that?
Yeah, and then Maroon's Razor, and you're basically unstoppable.
And Marin's Razor, is that the one with the 1% kill chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already got a chance of
instant death. Or whatever.
instant death. Yeah.
Although, let me tell you from experience, even a maxed out character with a maxed out dagger, like with everything, alchemy, enchanting, and smithing, it will not one-shot kill a Draugr Deathlord on legendary, which is kind of good.
Yeah, that's what you cannot one-shot kill Draugr Deathlords.
I mean, on
More powerful than
legendary.
dragons.
Yeah. I've done some of the cheats where you sit there and you increase your smithing to like just insane numbers, and you make like this insanely powerful weapon, and sometimes it still takes like 2 shots to kill a Draugr Deathlord. Yeah, especially on legendary.
Oh, 2 shots. Poor Juan. 2. Oh, God. Gee whiz.
Well, I don't have time to sometimes I only get about 45 minutes to an hour in the afternoon. So I want to get through stuff quick.
So what's your favorite bow, Juan? What do you like?
For me, I like just normally it's like an ebony bow that I'll just put in my own, and usually it's the fiery soul trap.
An ebony bow with fiery soul trap. I like that. And if you have the double enchantment power, what other enchantment do you like?
Normally I'll add more. I have not actually done one with the chaos, which I think would just make it that much better. So you add fiery soul trap with the chaos, and I think you're pretty
Love
good.
that chaos enchantment. Good stuff.
That's awesome.
Well, gentlemen, do we have any other have any other things we'd like to go over before we sign off for the evening? Colin, will you be doing a Gunvar narrative story for us?
Yeah, I will do. I missed out on doing one for the last episode. It's been posted tonight or tomorrow or something.
Uh-huh.
But I missed my opportunity. So I've been writing up a storm. So
Great. We all love hearing those, that's for sure.
Gunvar and Slythe have to meet up with Karstag there at some point in the near future. So
yeah, me and Victor were figuring out on was it on Steam there how to get Aaron and Oaken Master back together again and see what we're gonna do over in Souls Time.
Bosom buddies back together again.
Well, I mean, you kind of do it with that chat they're talking about. Because at least kind of do the team speak while you're playing gaming together would be kind of similar.
Oh, there you go. I haven't even looked into that at all. Can someone explain to me what this TeamSpeak stuff is?
Yes, please.
I can't. I have no idea. I think it's just a way to chat while you're playing. That's all.
Yeah, I used it on.
Not sure whether serious or trolling.
Was it?
Ben brought it up on the page there, on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
What, TeamSpeak? Seriously? It's like gaming voice com.
Yeah, it's just like what we're doing here, right? Except for you'd be playing video games at the same time.
Right. That's what it sounds like.
It has some added functionality, especially to manage like big groups in raids or team battles with priority speakers and channel commanders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it would be really good for a multiplayer game where you can't actually communicate with each other via the game, but you could do it online together then.
Yeah, no, it's vital. You will not manage to finish a raid in World of Warcraft without some kind of voice com. And TeamSpeak and Ventrilo are like the go-tos these days.
Yeah, the advantage to TeamSpeak is that it's you have to have a password to get in, so it's not public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Someone's got to run a server. Yeah.
You avoid a lot of trolling and bullshit, basically.
And is it applicable to Skyrim in any way other than just, hey, let's all together run over to Ashflow Citadel and see what's going on?
Well, Skyrim is sort of a special case. I mean, it's a single player, but especially when it was new, people would just go on TeamSpeak or chat over Xbox Live while they're playing the game, talking about it, like having that kind of social experience.
Like playing the same.
Usually, people don't play that. People don't do that for other games. People don't talk about Tomb Raider when they play it. Like,
yeah.
It's because Tomb Raider sucks.
The latest
I
one.
look in the damn vase. There's 4 vases in the room, and I can't look in one single bloody vase.
Tell us how you really feel, Colin.
I know.
I mean, it's like when you play an MMO, you don't always play together, but you still chat with your guildmates about information about the game because there's so much to know about these game worlds that no one could possibly know it all alone. And Skyrim is kind of similar in that vein. Like, hey, I've just come to Riften, I'm looking for this and that. Oh yeah, you gotta go to that guy and talk to him about this and that, and then that will open up this quest chain and all that.
That's
so
cool.
it's kind of like chatting on the consoles then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When David mentioned the World of Warcraft and TeamSpeak, all I could think of was Nixia Wipe video. Did you guys ever see that?
No.
It's so funny. This guy, he's like in charge of this whole group, and they're battling Onyxia, and oh man, he just goes off because somebody did something wrong. I'll have to post it on the Facebook group because if you guys have not seen it, it's pretty darn funny.
Sounds good.
All right.
I mean, and just in terms of of size of the game world, Steam claims that I've played this game for 830 hours, which is probably a lie. And there's
800.
and just recently, I ran through a cave I have never seen before.
Wow.
It is amazingly big.
Do you recall what it is or what it was called?
It was some pass somewhere between those those hot fountains and Grifton, and it was filled with Farmer. It was a radiant quest for the companions.
Oh, nice.
Something
Torvald's
pass.
Gap?
Torvald's Gap? No, I don't think so. It was something with pass. Or was it that gap? I don't know. I would have to look it up. Anyway, it was filled with Farmer.
Did you fall through a floor in a Dwemer ruin?
Did I?
That's just above that Nordic ruin, Anselvund. There's a Dwemer ruin just above Anselvund, and where you get Lua Alskaven.
Yes.
If you go above that, you'll have a Dwemer ruin, and you go in there, and then there's like a light on the floor. You stand, and then a big cage surrounds you, and there's lights going on and off, and there's big loud.
Yeah, I remember
The
that.
floor disappears, and then
Nah,
you fall
that's
down.
This shit's crazy.
That's someplace different.
And then the other week, I found one that I haven't been to since my very first playthrough, and I just thought it was just a tiny little crappy former hole from the outside, because that's all it looked like. So I haven't been in there for the whole time, but it's not. It's huge. It's the one that's right near Azura's Shrine, and it's just a hole in the ground.
Oh, Sightless Pit?
That's it, Sightless Pit.
Oh, wow.
And you
That
walk
one.
in- and
No,
it's-
I found it. It's Darkwater Pass. It's due south of Fort Amo.
Dark Water Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I miss a lot of those passes because I just kind of, what was it, parkour up the walls, up the mountains.
Yeah.
Adventure Walk.
Parkour in Skyrim? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mentioned in my Dead is Dead playthrough that I happened across a little location called Barley Dark Farm. That's just 3 pedestals out in the middle of the open, and there's a trap door, and you just twist those pedestals until you open the trap door, and there's just like a little spiral staircase that goes down not even just a couple feet, and there's a chest in there. I'd never happened across that before. You guys all stumbled across that one?
Yeah, I remember I stumbled across it in a couple playthroughs back. It's just amazing. Nothing pops up. There's no marker for it.
Yeah, it's not marked on the map.
it's
There's
just
nothing,
there.
no indicator there. Yeah, it's just three of those twisting pedestals with like a snake, a eagle, and a whale or whatever.
Right.
I don't even want to know how many Shrines of Talos I haven't found yet.
Well, I mean, if you just travel along the coast on the north end of Skyrim, I think you hit about 3 or 4 of them right there.
Yeah, one of them is
Yeah, there's always that one
I think I found an old friend of ours as
traveler skull there.
And then I know that
There's one that has treasure under it too. One of the 10 treasure maps you find is under one of the Talos shrines, I believe. Has anyone found all 10 of those treasures?
No.
Not yet. I've seen the video for it, but I haven't myself. A lot of times I look at the picture of the drawing and I'm just like, well, it's not close to here. Where am I supposed to go? So I looked up a video, and sometimes it's like halfway across Skyrim. It's like, oh, why isn't it close to where you find the treasure map?
Yeah, the maps aren't actually all that helpful because it's a drawing, and it's a fairly well, sketched drawing, but specifically from that angle, you might not recognize. You might be at the place, but I need to be looking at it from the southeast instead of the northwest, so I can't tell if I'm supposed to be. If you're not looking at it from the right angle, you might just walk right by where the treasure.
You really got to know Skyrim to get all of these.
Yeah, I've found maybe 2 of them ever. I've never made an effort, granted, to find all of them. Like, I could look it up and cheat, look on the UESP and find them all, but I need more maps before I can even find the treasures. I've never found all 10 of the maps even.
Yeah, because you can't even find the treasure until you find the map. Because I know I've found probably about 3, maybe 4 of them, just traveling around. Because the first one, you can find it as soon as you exit the cave from after the dragon attack and everything, if you go left instead of right down the path, you'll go into right into a bandit camp, and you can find the first map there. But after that,
you can pull them to your buddy. He'll kill them for you.
Now, the question is, can you find the treasures if you already know where they are on a second playthrough?
No.
You have to have the map.
They only spawn once you have the treasure map.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow. So you have to find the maps before they'll even pop up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I checked the one north of Riverwood before I had the treasure map because I knew it was there in that hollow tree thing,
Right.
and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
No, that's the first map that you find, and then there's another one across the road from Whiterun, but you have to travel all the way, like halfway up the mountain, and it's like almost buried in the ground under a tree. That's the second one, and then there's another one by.
Is that the one with the windmill on the treasure map?
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually got to stand down there at the windmill, look up to the mountain, and see. Oh yeah, it's on that peak. Let's go there.
Yep.
And then you end up on the wrong peak. Yep.
And really, there's not that much great treasure in any of them that I've found. So
It's just little chest. But it's also that only works in a game like Skyrim, where the distant peak is not just some texture. You can actually go there. If you see it, you can go there and stand on top of it and find stuff, kill things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I find more stuff in the merchant chests. Yeah, anybody ever go to those merchant chests?
You mean through glitches and things?
No. You can find there's 3 merchant chests that are just easily available. There's one by Solitude, one by Markarth, and then the other one in
Dawnstar. There's a
Dawnstar.
Dawnstar,
Yeah.
But those are like glitches. Those aren't really supposed to be accessible.
They're all kind of glitched. There's also one under Whiterun.
It's under the Skyforge.
Remains. It's under the Skyforge, but you gotta jump over the wall at one point, and it's glitchy.
That one actually requires a lot of work because you gotta travel through like most of the wall to get there. But the other ones are actually pretty easy to just get. You just access them because I actually found a way to go underneath the wall in Whiterun.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you walk, you go up to the cemetery, and then there's a little house right there. I forget which. I think it's the something main house. And you walk right into the wall, you fall right into the ground. And you can actually, if you really kind of mess around, you can actually access some of the other merchant chests. But you can actually go underneath the wall and then travel down to get the Skyforge one. But because the other way that I've seen to get that one is you go right as soon as you come into Whiterun, you turn right, and then there's a little barrel there. You jump on that barrel, and then you have to try to jump over the wall right there, and then that takes you down, and then you walk the whole path again all the way to Skyforge.
Yeah, I mean, on PC, I'm playing with all the unofficial patches, and all of those accessible chests have been removed with the patches. So,
what format do you play on, Juan?
What do you mean? Oh,
Xbox, PS4, PC, or PS3, PC.
I'm on the 360.
Nice. How about you, David? We never did ask you what console or what do you play?
PC. I play a slightly modded Skyrim. All my mods are purely cosmetic, except for one that's called kill move controls, where I can disable those kill shot cameras because they get really annoying for archery.
They sure do.
Yeah, because sometimes the game thinks he'll hit, goes into the camera, but he missed, and
well, it gives you kill cam even if you miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you shoot at a moving target, if you would hit it at that moment, it goes into the kill move camera, but then the target moves out of the way and starts hammering on you. while you're still in the animation.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
That's amusing.
Yeah. Has anybody had
Nah,
where
PC all the way.
Yeah, anybody had where you're sitting there and just shooting somebody with a bow and then just like it's like they're the Flash or something. They just just shift over like so fast.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what? Really?
I can't say that I've ever had any of these bow problems. I'll
Yeah, 'cause-
Talking
yeah.
about glitches, has anyone ever done the restoration potion thing?
Yes.
Yes.
On the
yeah,
360.
where you compound the. Yeah, I've done that before, but I've also read that if you do it too much, it'll lock up your game.
I felt really dirty.
Yeah, me too.
This is like, okay, they got infinite health built into the game, like on a system level, but it still feels kind of wrong.
Can you?
I'm not even.
Just in case
I'm
someone's
not even
not familiar
sure
with it.
it's considered to be a glitch or an exploit, or if it's just that's how the game works, I guess.
I think it's an exploit. I think that's the best way of defining it. It's just, it's part of the mechanic, but it's sort of mildly unethical, I guess.
Hey, David, just for any of our listeners who aren't familiar with the Fortify Restoration loop, can you sort of explain how that works?
Yes. So how this works is actually the skill enchantments on armor are considered to be a restoration effect, engine-wise. And the potions, which fortify restoration magic, increase the effect. So when you drink one of these potions and put on any enchanted armor, those effects get magnified by that potion. So you make a set of armor which fortifies your alchemy skill. You make that very powerful potion. Then you take all your armor off, drink the potion, and repeat. And the growth is exponential. So at some point, I think the limit for any given value is somewhat over 2 million.
Wow.
And and you can do lots of crazy weird things with it. I mean, mixing one of these potions eventually will just bump your alchemy to 100. If you sell one of these potions, it will instantly bump your speech to 100.
Wow.
And the applications are many.
Yeah, I actually did it on this character because I was adding 0 stamina and I had block. So I'm like, I really need some stamina. So I created some armor with really high stamina.
Can you?
And I mean,
sort of
once you got one of these potions, you can mix any fortify potion you like. Then you mix a potion of fortify smithing, and you can enchant smith your weapons like 230,000% higher.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, what I did is I created the fortify enchanting potion, and then I enchanted some armor to have really high stamina.
Yeah, that's when you get to the point where you really need to save up on these potions of ultimate health, ultimate stamina, ultimate magicka, because otherwise those potions of minor magicka will do nothing for you if you got millions of points.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think you really even lose, and I mean, because your health is so high, it regenerates really fast. Also, because when I did make one character that was unkillable, the only thing that is kind of crazy is if you remove your armor that has like infinite health, you automatically die.
What?
Yeah. So, like, let's say you're
That serves you right too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Teaching you
you're-
lessons. So.
Yeah, because if you do what's that group that everybody hates up in Markarth,
Forsworn.
yes, if you do the Forsworn quest, you know how you have to get arrested, and as soon as they remove your armor, you die.
Oh man.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that that's even in the game, something like that, because Skyrim is, to me, it's a toy. You can have fun with it, and you're totally fine to break it once in a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I read that there's a danger of it destroying the game. Have you taken it that far ever, David?
Yes. I think everyone has on their first try. The game just glitches out if the value goes a little bit over 2 million. Then the game can't handle it anymore, and it turns into a negative, and that crashes the game
No.
eventually.
I did it once, but I was scared to take it too far, and I could have gone much further, but I just made it so that this was my character that I was doing. That was I was playing it as a Dwemer robot, so I could use only electrical shock attacks, and so I had everything that had anything to do with the shock, just so that my magic restored to 264%. Everything was 264%. I was scared to take it any higher. I'm a big sissy. But, so you can take it up to 2 million. That's, I had a long way to go after that, I guess.
Yeah, the one thing they did fix though is if you do the fortify enchantment, it doesn't increase your enchantment as quickly as it used to, because you could get up to 100 enchanting with just one enchantment before, and I think they put a patch in where now it's like, okay, well, you're doing this, so your enchantment is now 600 and something, and you're trying to go up to 600 and whatever, 1 point higher than that. So this enchantment doesn't move your enchantment at all.
Oh, okay.
So they did even that out, at least that part. But for your speech, when you sell one of those potions to somebody, and it says, oh, they don't have enough gold, you say, it doesn't matter, and it still increases your speech pretty quickly. I think your smithing is also another one that they fixed, but the speech they didn't fix.
Well, that's really cool. That's a fortify restoration loop, everyone. If you want to look into that a little bit, it's a good way to make yourself pretty much invincible if you want to.
Save your game before you do it. You will feel dirty. You will want to go back.
Your character. Yeah. And that sounds like a good place to sign off for the evening. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to get into before I launch into the outro material here?
No, we're good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, it's like 4 a.m. for David and Colin probably, so we'll go ahead and let them head off and go to bed here pretty soon. Our next recording session, we'll get back onto our normal schedule. We'll be here in 2 weeks. We'll meet again on Saturday, November 8th at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and we will do quests 9 through 12. The quest will be Death Brand, and I'm excited for that one. I love the Death Brand. You get some good armor out of that. And 10, Fate of the Skull. Quest 11 is A New Source of Stalrim. And 12 is The Path of Knowledge. And in that quest, you will also find the Black Book, Epistolary Acumen. So those will be our next set of quests on Saturday, November 8th at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And I hope everyone can make it again. It was a great show today, and I'd like to thank David again for volunteering to show up. It was a big help, and you've provided lots of great information, so thank you again, David.
Yes, you did.
Thanks for having me. Keep an eye to the sky.
I'd also like to thank Juan for showing up. This was his second appearance, and also Juan did a wonderful job. We love having you, Juan. And of course, our two solid fellows of Colin and Victor. Thanks for being dedicated podcasters with me, fellas. It's always greatly appreciated.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
So we can just really quickly go around the room. Give us your name, your character's name, and where you're calling in from. Colin, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, hi, my name's Colin. My character's name is Gunvar Oakmaster, and we forgot to mention the Flying Mage on Stolstein, and I regret it.
The Flying Mage? What's that?
The Flying Mage, he flies. He creates a spell so he can fly.
He's a mage.
2 meter, reading 0.
I'm a dummy.
Sorry, you can carry on.
Juan.
Yes, hello. This is Scorpion Forktongue, and I'm playing Juan out of Escondido.
David.
So, yeah, it's been David from a little town near Frankfurt in Germany, and I'm playing Kihana, the Khajiit Mage.
And Victor?
Victor from Massachusetts, currently in Pittsburgh, and Slythe Aaron is my character.
And I am Andrew. I've been calling in from Noblesville, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis. And I play as the Red Guard female, Mania Ababna. Everyone, I'd like you to please follow a Skyrim Addict on Twitter, and please join the Facebook group, also of the same name, a Skyrim Addict podcast. New participant inquiries and play-along feedback can all be sent to skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. Even if you don't want to appear on the podcast, we do appreciate if you send in an audio voicemail, and we can go ahead and tack that on to the end of the show just so we can get all participants who are doing play-alongs, so we can hear from them as well. We'd like everyone to upload a character pic to Twitter and Facebook with the hashtag Skyrim Roundtable so we can check out what everyone's doing. A special thanks to Dan Bull for always letting us use the music for the intro and outro. We always appreciate 5-star iTunes reviews. They help us out a lot. Please stay tuned after this episode immediately for audio feedback from Colin. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Skyrim Roundtable this evening. And
being a warrior,
Skyrim.
it's a gift to me. I don't just spit flames lyrically, but literally. And the Elder Scrolls are scripts in which I've written your obituary. I am the Dragonborn, wearing a hat with badass horns. I'm Dovahkiin, not globally, you'll know the D at all.
Yeah, you're just walking along, and then you see this mage, and you hear him ranting and raving. And he's standing there, and he's got a book at his floor, and he's going, "Ha-ha, it's going to work!" And he does like a master spell animation, you know, where he spins his arms around, and then the spell activates, and then he shoots off into the sky.
I totally forgot about that. He's down by the coast there near.
Yeah, so he's actually flying in the air, and then suddenly he stops, and then falls down, and plummets to the ground and dies.
Metal Shark Studio.